Here's my ranking of gacha games per booth. Gacha ranking of AX booths. My favorite looking booth, or I guess my favorite booth in general, was probably, I think this is because of the events that they held. It has to be Wuwa. Wuwa has to be number one. The booth wasn't the best looking, but the events that they held were amazing. And of course, the chibi cosplayers is NTE. I really liked NTE's booth. NTE's booth was really cool. We'll watch it in a second. They brought the cars, they brought the cosplayers, they have so much at their booth. NTE had some really cool shit. Next, Nikkei. Nikkei brought in Cosmograph, who is the music producer. They brought him into DJ. That's sick. Like, he is literally like the god of Nikkei music. That was really, really cool. Next, probably Silver Palace. Then Arknights. PGR was actually there. I would still say Hoya booth. Hoya Collective, then PGR, then Uma Musume. Actually, you know what? Blue Archive. Now, I know Blue Archive gets a rap, but the booth was actually really, really cool looking. PGR, and then Uma Musume, which was the side games booth. Am I missing anything? I think I have everything, to be honest. There was CZN, but I'll be honest, like, CZN was just really bad. CZN did not look good. Oh, Brown Dust. Oh my god, I totally forgot about Brown Dust. Oh my gosh. Brown Dust 2? They had freaking a VIP experience. If you were a certain level in Brown Dust 2, they had like massage chairs. And they had like a panel where like you got to sit on benches and like do a Q&A with the devs. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. It was actually crazy. And they had the whole like ship cutout thing. It was so cool. You know what? I'll put him here. What about Love and D-Space? From the outside in, outside of the minute that you spend with the costers, that's all you did. There was nothing at the actual booth for Love and D-Space. It was literally, if you had a ticket, you can go there and spend your minute time, you know, taking photos and, you know, interacting with the cosplayers. There was no actual stuff at L&D. What you guys saw from those like little square booths, that's literally it. There was no handouts, there was no like merch line, there was nothing. It was just the boxes. So I wouldn't really consider it an actual booth, but if we want to consider it a booth, the ladies did have a good time, but it was only those singular ladies. So it's really hard to compare the general experience. So I would probably put it like right here, because again, it was like singular interactions. You couldn't go through like a whole like interactive experience. You couldn't play games. You do XYZ. Wasn't ZZ there? Yes. Hoyo Collective. ZZZ, HSR, Genshin. The Hoyo Collective. Blue Archive, PGR, Love and D-Space, Uma Musume, CZN. Yeah. Uma Musume had very little stuff. And they were supposed to have like a little concert, but they had to shut it down. So that's why it's so low on the list. I saw women go crazy over the dudes. Yeah, but that's singular women. Does that make sense? Not everybody was able to experience it. Sure, you could see it from the outside in, but like, you know, all the other booths here I got to experience. I got to actually like tangibly like walk through, see like, you know, XYZ. Senran Kagura. What is that? Sorry? Maresi? Oh, actually, I did see Maresi. I didn't get to go through the whole Maresi. You know, I'll put Maresi here because I did see Maresi. Maresi would go right here. They actually had some really, really cool stuff. I like their stage layout. They had some like cool like touch screen interactive thing, or like motion interactive thing. Like it was pretty like involved, I would say. I don't know a lot about the game, but it was pretty involved. How many gacha games were there? Well, as you can see, these are the gacha games. The game was made by ex-Nikkei devs. Oh, nice. Where's your cameo? Oh, we'll see it in a bit. But this is my gacha ranking per AX booths. Wuwa, purely because of the events. Brown Dust 2 because of the VIP experience. NTE, I think, generally had the most well-balanced and unique looking booth. Goddess of Victory Nikkei had so much attention with the dancers, the costers, their concerts, their parade. They had like a little parade where they had all of the cosplayers walk through the venue, and they had Cosmograph actually DJ, which was amazing. Honestly, I would put Nikkei low-key higher ish. The inside the booth was actually really, really nice too. They had a lot more space than other booths. So anyways, Silver Palace was great. Moresi was pretty good. I would say like this is A tier and this is B tier. So Moresi Arknights was B tier. C tier is Hoyo Collective, Blue Archive, PGR, and then D tier is Love and D Space, Umusume CCN. Yeah, that's my relative list there. Yeah. The worst merch line too. The only reason it's here is because it had one of the best looking boots. I think aesthetics wise, S tier. That's the only reason why they're even up here in the middle of the pack versus down here. Their actual booth look was really cool, and the cosplayers were amazing. Outside of that, they had zero soul. I've talked about this before. The Hoyo boots had no events. The Hoyo boots had no interactions. All right. They didn't bring on any like creators like they did. Wuwa brought in all the creators. Brown Dust 2 brought in the devs. NT brought in creators. Nikkei brought in creators. Cosser, they brought in their DJ. They brought in Cosmograph, which is super cool. Silver Palace just had generally like a beautiful looking booth. You know, like these guys did stuff. Hoyo didn't do shit. And I don't want to hear, oh, it would have been a fire hazard to, you know, put a crowd. Like, you have space. Just use it, bro. You know what I mean? They had space. They had opportunity. I don't know. I understand. Hoyo is the largest out of all of these. So when it comes to a merch line, you know, it is what it is. But you should have done what Goddess of Victory Nikkei did and capped your line. You should have capped it at the beginning and make sure that no one, like, there was only a limited amount of people so they can only enter in a certain amount of time, and then just host events. Host the events 3 years ago. Now it is just a merch line. I don't know, man. I didn't see much of AX stuff. What did Wa do? Oh, Wa did like a poll events. They were doing like gacha poll like competition, and then they also did some like little cheat like mini games with the chibi cosplayers. Like at least they did something. Gods of Victory Nikkei, they did dances. They had a whole like concert for TT Star, you know, the idol characters, and then they brought in the Cosmograph for DJing. Like they tried. They really did try, and it was very apparent the crowd of Nikkei was amazing. It was so crowded, even though their booth was technically in the lobby, but it was just so crowded. It was amazing. It's good to see. When ZZ merch, I can show you guys a little bit. That was enough to make Wuo number one. The Wuo had a really good booth too. Wuo had a very well decorated booth. They had amazing cosplayers, and the events was top tier. I think the events were the best. So I think overall my grade, if I were to like average out the grades, I think Wuo would be the winner. Yeah. So AX boots, I think Wuo is probably the best. Brown Dust 2 right behind that, which is surprising. I really did like what Brown Dust 2 was doing, especially for, you know, for its active players, because you can like see all like, you know, the little stuff, you know, you can get merch, yada yada yada. But they had you know, massage chairs. Insane. Anyways, this is my list. You guys can debate it all you want. All right, you guys weren't at AX, I was at AX. Also, I didn't realize I'm on the NTE Global. I made a surprise cameo. Let's check it out. Hold up. Yeah, this was the booth. It was pretty cool, chat. Are you gonna play Brown Dust 2? No, that's just the booth. Yeah, look at this booth. It's so sick. Like, they decorated so well. They did a really good job. What's up, Miko? Welcome in. Hitman, welcome in as well. Neko Toast, how's it going? Chimerical, Blue, how's it going? It was Duck, yeah. Why am I fucking talking about duck? Why am I duck facing? What the heck? Yeah. Josh jump scare. They brought us into the booth. What can I say? I was like, you know, I'll take any opportunity for clout, baby. Luke and Goofy. Yeah. They were like, yeah, hold up this stuff, dude. Yep. That's us down there. That's us. Yippee. And freaking Mr. Pokey giving the good old thumbs up. So, but you know, now that we're just still on the, you know, Anime Expo kind of train, just show you guys a little bit of stuff. Yeah. Anywho's, that was NTE. Freaking jump scare is crazy.